it's her. It's only her. Remember, Ann Shepard is Shepard's mom, is John Shepard's mom, so she needs to go talk to Ann Shepard. It's 4.9 minutes. It's almost time for him to drown.
1.1 to go.
Yep. They said 5 to 6 inches.
Only a few hours left before Shamars dies.
Hello, I'm looking for Ann Shepard's room.
Please sign the visitor's book.
He's not going to be in good health when they find him anyways.
Nope.
Are you a member of the family?
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh, she'll be pleased to have a visitor. No one ever comes to see her. With the Alzheimer's, she has trouble remembering things, but it'll still please her. You know. It's room 19 at the end of the corridor.
Knows that you visited
Thank
her.
you.
Room 19. Okay.
John Shepard died 30 years ago. Hope his mother has all the answers to this puzzle.
What was it?
He died 30 years ago. 119. 019.
So just 19.
I need those, but I'll have to come back.
You're not allowed to grab them right off the bat.
Remember, she has Alzheimer's, but the thing is...
All old timers.
Alzheimer's.
Old timers.
Alt. It sounds like he says alt-timers.
Alt tabers.
I mean, it's
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it's ALZ. Alls.
Alzheimer's. But,
There's no T.
There's no T. It's Alzheimer's. Heim.
Alzheimer's.
Like a hymen.
Alzheimer's. But the thing is, she can't...
We're not trying to
she
dick
can't-
at you.
She can't remember things.
Trying to help you.
So you need a way to bring back the memories.
So you go
Hello,
here,
Mrs.
then you go get the
Shepherd.
flowers and bring them back.
She needs to remember things.
Is it time for my pills already?
Is your time for my pearl
No, Mrs. Shepard,
They're never on time with my pills. I don't know what they do here. In the other hospital, they were always on time. But here,
I'm sorry. Let me introduce myself.
My name is Madison-Page. I'm a journalist. I'd like to ask you some questions about your son.
I don't like this hospital. The food isn't very good, you know.
That's what
I feel bad for her.
That's what happens.
A lot of times I just feel bad for old people.
Yeah.
Your second son.
You had a son named John, and John had a twin brother.
Do you have my pills? It's time for my pills.
Try to remember, Mrs. Shepard. John's twin brother was placed with a foster family after the accident. What was the name of the foster family?
I asked them for a television, you know. They said I didn't have enough money. It's a pity. I'm fond of television.
So, let's go.
Your other son, Mrs. Shepard, John's twin brother. What was his name?
What other son? Oh, I have no other son. I never had any children.
Do you remember John?
My Johnny. He is a good little boy, you know.
I had no kids. Oh wait, I had John.
Mrs. Shepard, your son may be linked to a series of murders.
Oh, my heart
Perhaps you have some
Johnny.
information that could help the investigation.
Not my
Are you a new nurse? Where are my pills?
Okay. Okay.
I think your son is in trouble, Mrs. Shepard. He's done some terrible things. I need to find him. Do you understand?
Terrible things you're telling me. He never came to see me. Can you believe it? In 10 years, never. No one forgets their mother, do they?
I know what happened at Carnaby Square. Do you remember?
Carnaby Square. I think I used to live there a long time ago. We didn't have much money at the time, you know. We had to make do with very little.
Now do you have...
I believe.
This woman might be the origami killer's mother. Must be some way to get her to remember.
Now you get the flowers, right?
I gotta talk to the nurse. She tells me that she gets flashes of memories.
I would hate to have Alzheimer's or dementia.
Does Mrs. Shepherd ever talk about her past?
It's not all very clear to her now.
The problem is
Sometimes she'll remember the oddest things, though.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if she sees something that reminds her of her past.
I know my great grandfather had it.
Does she get
Sometimes you can
many
get-
visitors?
I think
She's
one
been
of
here
them,
for
like,
10 years and you're
if
the
you
first.
don't use your brain enough, like if you just
I'm looking
never
for
use
her
your
other
brain.
son.
That's why I'm
He was adopted. I mean,
I
he's
always try to use
probably
my brain.
changed his name.
because I don't want to be like that.
Is there any official documentation on Mrs. Shepherd?
No, there's nothing really. Nothing about her family. I guess if her son was adopted, then she's the only one who could tell you about that. Sometimes, if you show her things, it seems to trigger a memory from her past.
Really?
You might get it to remember.
Thanks for the advice.
Let's bring the flowers.
Show her things that take her back.
I'll be helpful for not asking why I'm here. You think they'd be worried about their patients?
Show her things that take her back.
I know, right? It really is convenient.
Uh-huh.
Well, the sun might not show up, but it does.
Probably just leaves them in the hallway. That's probably why it's there in the first place. Probably can't
What
bring
a
himself to
lovely
close the
orchid.
room.
My sons loved orchids. We used to grow them in the back. When John died, I laid orchids
Maybe he
on
has
his
visited her,
grave.
but she just can't remember.
Maybe. It's been 10 years.
Another one?
Yeah, we just need to turn it around.
She keeps forgetting things.
A book of origami.
Huh. Yep.
Oh, I hate doing this one.
You hate making a dog?
It's a lot of fun.
I haven't really done too much origami. I've never made origami animals.
Can you show you how to do a crane?
The crane, I think, is the
Oh, you
easiest.
know
I think
how
I
to do
almost
these
did a
little
crane
dogs, too.
before.
You know how to make little dogs?
My
Without
children
looking at
loved
anything.
origami. I taught them how to do it. John loved the little dogs.
We used to call
He
them.
always wanted to call them Max. Max, Max, Max. All dogs with the same name. I was wasting my time telling him they couldn't all have the same name. But he always wanted his paper dogs Max. It's funny, isn't it?
Just make the other ones. No?
What else? What
Her
else?
memory is coming back. Don't stop now. Just remember. Did you make these origami figures?
My little paper animals. They played with them for hours.
They?
I showed my boys how to make them, you know.
Yes, your boys, Mrs. Shepherd.
National-
John and... What was your other son's name again?
My other son?
The piece of
I only had one son. My little Johnny.
It looked like she sighed.
Mhm.
Like her shoulders went up and down. It's like, God damn it.
Nope. Up.
It's like we made progress.
Mhm.
Obviously empty.
This one. Picture.
There's your two sons right there.
Two boys.
Kind of looks like the picture
Are
of the
these
two
your
daughters.
children,
that
Mrs. Shepherd?
they're
John and
portioned
his
in the
brother?
same spot.
Is that them?
They're good little boys. Their father never looked after them. Always drinking. They didn't have an easy life, you know.
One of them had a short line.
I think that's all. That's all.
I cried when they told me. I'd already lost one of my children, and now they were taking away another one, you understand.
What was
The
thing?
foster family, Mrs. Shepherd. What was the name of the foster family that adopted John's brother?
They were really very nice people. I met them, you know. In the beginning, I used to go and see my little boy. And then I got sick and I couldn't go any longer. Perhaps he thought I'd forgotten him. He must have thought I didn't love him anymore.
What's his name?
His name, Mrs. Shepherd. What was his name?
But I loved him. If you only knew how much I missed him.
Please, Anne.
Really get
His
angry at old
name.
people,
What
man.
was his name?
You can just sigh.
Yeah, it's just like.
Come here. I'll whisper into your
Come
ear.
closer.
She bites her ear. It'd be funny if she whispered Ethan. And she's like,
Ethan Mars!
that would be like the reason she made that face, like, no!
Ethan isn't that old.
No!
Ethan isn't that old.
She's like, oh, no!
There you go.
Mars is his adopted name.
She died now.
Oh, look how pissed she looks.
Of course he does.
Who?
Her son comes and kills her. The
Probably.
first time he visits her again.
Wow.
What a great son.
I got Alzheimer's. I don't know.
How long would it take you to finish it?
Ethan, he completes his final mission. I have Jayden to finish up and find out who he is, because all he does is he's in the Animus and he's going around finding out
The clues.
name. And I know the clues.
Okay.
And Madison goes to the apartment of one of the killers.
Why is this a red
And then
room?
it's ended?
That's it.
How long
The
do you think
last
it'll take you?
origami figure.
Well, let's figure
The
out
last
how long it's
trial.
gonna take me to finish this thing right here. Which
Okay.
doesn't take long.
I don't mind being late.
He was the one that was saying that he had a problem staying until 1.
No, I'll be fine. It's fine if I.
Do you need to get up at 8 to...
The last origami figure.
Exactly.
The last trial.
I'll finish it then. Doesn't take me that long. Final mission is gonna take me a little while though.
What the fuck is this?
Poison.
The last trial. The last question. Are you prepared to give your life to save your sons? There is a deadly poison in this vial. It will kill you in exactly 60 minutes. If you drink it, you will get the last letters of the address. You will have enough time to save your son and say goodbye to him, but then you will die. You can drink the vial or decide to leave. The choice is yours.
You know, he cut my finger off.
Looks weird. A lot of pictures. Let's drink it.
Or I would have put the wristwatch on
Let's go.
first. Cyanide. No, cyanide would kill too quickly. Arsenic.
He has 60 minutes to find his son. Well, that's good. Let's do this.
The last letters have been sent to your phone.
Theodore Roosevelt.
502 Theater.
Good old Theo.
Okay. Now it's time to click the button.
I did what I had to, Sean.
58.
Your dad's coming to save you.
Jeez, an hour.
Man, it's weird he hasn't had any blackouts for the last how many days?
I can't wait.
Last 2 or 3 days? I don't know. Yeah, last 3 days.
Yep,
He
there we
hasn't
go.
had any blackouts after
So-
when his son got taken.
Now let's finish this, guys.
Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Get her done. Get her done.
So let's find out who the killer is. He finds out real fast
Right at the beginning of this, I know who he is.
with Harrison. It was recording the entire time.
Yeah.
So he can, if he really needs to, he can actually see if he can find a face.
Okay. So Ethan died. No, I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Cool. Deserved it.
I've only got a few more hours left to save Sean Mars. There has to be a goddamn clue somewhere.
Is there a way to make
I
it
love
so he
it something
doesn't
wrong
die
with
without
face.
Sean dying?
This kid's gonna die, and I'm going around in circles!
It's totally stupid when you don't know
Uh-huh.
his view.
All packed up and ready to go?
What are you talking about?
The investigation's over. We know who did it. We no longer need your services anymore, Norman. So you can ride your files all the way back to Washington.
Mars, who did kill him.
I'd be lying if I said I was gonna miss you.
Dumbass.
The investigation isn't over. You have absolutely nothing on Mars.
Mars is guilty. Case closed. Anyway, it's no concern of yours now. You're off the case.
He'd look like a fool if you
pack
arrested
up
him and all of a sudden,
fuck off.
a week later, more rain falls and another kid's gone.
Blake, you are an unbalanced, psychopathic asshole.
I'll take that as a compliment. Honestly, I don't give a shit what you think. I found the origami killer. Everyone's happy. End of story. Have a nice trip back,
right,
Norman.
Did he say origami?
He said origami.
Like, a lot of people in this game keep saying origami.
Gami.
No, I'm saying a lot of them say origami.
I know.
Gobby.
And I corrected him.
I know. It's not funny. It's not funny with
I think some of them said origami. Is he doing his drugs?
He has to. He has no choice right here.
I thought he wasn't gonna do it.
He has no choice right here.
The killer's name is here. Somewhere in this data. I just have to find it. Find it before it's too late.
Before this piece of shit
one last
fucks
thing,
everything
sir.
up.
You should be careful not to overindulge in you know what. It can be dangerous. Very dangerous. It'll end up killing you if you're not careful.
We heard all
That would
this.
be most unfortunate, sir.
Come on, let's go. Come on, come
Clues.
on, come 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 on.
Clues. Let's go. My phone was on.
Ari was in record mode when I was fighting with the killer. Perhaps there's something on it.
Come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, come on, load, load.
Come on, come on, come on.
Floyd.
Right there. Stop.
Gold watch. I'm sure I've seen this before somewhere.
Okay.
See? Emotions ever.
It's Blake.
Those who retire.
Is it?
The watch they
Who is
give
it?
for promotions to lieutenant. The killer is a cop.
Yes.
Is Blake a lieutenant?
Could be.
Looks like the killer is a cop. Carter Blake. That would explain the dead-end investigation and his desire to frame Ethan Mars.
Further investigate.
He's like, it must be Blake. Analysis impossible.
Analysis this. Huh. What comes in there?
The gun the killer left at the Blue Lagoon. Perhaps there's some way of tracing its history. Impounded in a police case 5 years ago, the gun is still supposed to be in police custody. Who checked it out? If not a cop.
So it's a cop.
2 receipts from the same gas station. Might be near the killer's home.
Let's show analysis.
The killer lives in this zone. 342 people live around there. Not good enough. Gotta find a means of identifying the killer more precisely.
Still a lot smaller than before.
So he found the location. Back here.
Looks like the killer is a cop. Carter Blake. That would explain the dead-end investigation and his desire to frame Ethan Mars. There's only one cop in that geoprofiling zone. Gotcha. He owns a warehouse on the docks. If I'm wrong, Sean Mars is dead.
So he goes to the location where Ethan's going.
Okay, let's go.
Now one person left.
But we still don't say the fucking name!
So there's 2 people left. Scott and Madison. They still get
It's funny how all of them arrive basically at the same spot. Too bad they couldn't get there before Ethan poisoned himself.
Yeah, fuck you, Norman. Wait, no, not Norman. Ah, fuck, what's his name? Blake! Fuck you, Blake! Norman, you're cool. I don't care.
Let me stay with you, Scott. I don't want to go.
Look, it'll only take a couple of days. Long enough to get this resolved.
I can't just wait while you confront my son's killer.
It's the only way, Lauren. Trust me. Now go stay with your mother for a few days. I'll come and get you when this is all over.
Tell me who the origami killer is. I want to know who killed my son.
Listen, when I'm done, I'll tell you everything I know. I promise.
It's all for nothing. Guess what, bitch? Now you get to pay attention.
Actually, this is the most interesting part.
Just play until I'm dead.
The most interesting part.